chapter 75. For the leader, Al-Tashket, a psalm of Asaph, a song. We give thanks unto you, O God, we give thanks. Your name is near, men tell of your wondrous works. When I take the appointed time, I myself will judge the equity. When the earth and all the inhabitants thereof are dissolved, I myself establish the pillars of it. Selah. I say unto the arrogant, deal not arrogantly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn. Lift not up your horn on high, speak not insolence with a haughty neck. For neither from the east, nor from the west, nor yet from the wilderness cometh lifting up. For God is judge, he putteth down one, and lifteth up another. For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, with foaming wine, full of mixture, and he poureth out the same. Surely the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall drain them, and drink them. But as for me, I will declare forever. I will sing praises to the God of Jacob. All the horns of the wicked also will I cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be lifted up. All right, let's go back up to verse 1. And once again, we got a song. It's a psalm. This one here is going to be written by Asaph. Asaph was the gatherer. He was of the priesthood, and David had separated this portion of the priesthood out to play instruments and sing before the Lord, to call to remembrance God's mercy. But this here is for the leader. That's for God too. God is our leader. God is the leader. He is the leader of the leaders. It would be God himself. And this is Al-Tashket. I believe I've mentioned this before. It kind of goes back to do not destroy. Not destroyed. Not destroyed. Verse 2. We're going to pick it up there in verse 2. We give thanks unto you, O God. We give thanks, and your name is near. Men tell of your wondrous works. We give thanks unto you. Who? O God, Elohim, the might of the mighty ones, the strength, all the strength there is. God, and we give thanks. Your name is near. Men tell of your wondrous works, and your name is near. And this, your name is near, your Shem, and your Shem, and it's kind of like your presence. It goes ahead and comes before you. It's kind of like when you're at home with your brothers and your sisters maybe, or your siblings are there together, and somebody may be doing something that you're not supposed to. A little dad's home, and the fear takes hold. You see what I mean? And this is kind of that understanding where your Shem is near, your name is near, Dad's home. In other words, and men tell of your wondrous works, because that's how we know that God's near. 3. When I take the appointed time, I myself will judge with equity. And this is God. God's judgment seat. It always is God in the judgment seat. God says, when I take the appointed time, when I receive it, when I cause it to happen, God says, when it comes, I myself will judge with equities. God says, I'm going to judge everybody. And it's really this period of time, God's already done it. God's already got the judgment in the earth. And that's really not what we want. To God to judge, we want God to bless. See, we want the blessing portion of God. And that can only be achieved one way, through these wondrous works God give, and that's the law. It's the Torah from the beginning. But God says, I'm going to judge equally when judgment time comes, because the judgment belongs to God. For when earth and all the inhabitants thereof are dissolved, I myself establish the pillars of it. Selah. When the earth and all the inhabitants are dissolved or melted away, when it's all done, And we have from the beginning, God created it. God established it. And the beginning's always with the beginning comes an end. It's like an automatic thing. But when all these things are done, God says that I've done established it. I've done said this is the way it's going to be. It's through the law, through the wondrous works of God, God's declaring it. God's declaring it. He declared from the beginning the end, so to speak. I mean, God has already established the pillars of what will be. 5. And a pillar something just supports. 5. I say unto the arrogant, deal not arrogantly, and to the wicked, lift not up your horn. Lift not up the horn. Don't deal arrogantly. Don't think you're on top, because we'll find out God created everybody. God created you as well. And don't be so wicked. Don't lift up your horn. And your horn is your strength. Don't lift just because you can. Just because you can don't mean you should always. We can do a lot of things that we shouldn't do. That's a very obvious thing, and people need to think about what they do. What's it doing in the earth? What's that helping? 6. Lift not up your horn on high. Speak not insolence with a haughty neck. Lift not up your horn on high. Don't exalt your strength. Speak not insolence. And this word insolence, insulting. Don't be insulting with a haughty neck. Thinking you're over top of everybody. And that haughty neck is a stiff neck. That's somebody can't see no other opinion but their own. They don't refuse to recognize that other people have the right to exist. There's a right to exist outside of you. See, there's a right to exist. God established that when He established man, the right of existence. God established the fact that, and the lesson though is to teach the man that other people have a right to live. Other people have a right to exist. There's an existence. Have a little respect for other people. You shouldn't be trying to control necessarily. 7. For neither from the east, nor from the west, nor yet of the wilderness cometh lifting up. Neither from the east. The east is that way of enlightenment, that way of understanding. That's not what's going to give you lifting up. Or from the west. That's where the sun goes down. It don't come from that direction yet either. Nor from the wilderness. That's where the words drive out. Comes lifting up. That's not what does it. That's not what does it. We're going to find out. God said, I shall show mercy on whoever I please. God does it. But we know one thing. God says, I will judge with equity. God's fair. God's righteous. God's just. 8. For God is judge. He putteth down one and lifteth up another. For God is the judge, obviously. He puts down one, lifts up another, whoever He pleases, so to speak. We can look at it just like that, too. God exalts whoever He wants. And when they don't do wickedly, He exalts them. And when they do wickedly, He brings them down. That's what God, and we say, well, God don't do that. Well, He does. These things happen. It's like a gentle wind that blows in and just kind of takes over. It's a pleasant death, so to speak. 9. For in the hand of the Lord there's a cup with foaming wine full of mixture, and He pours out the same. Surely the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall drain them and drink them. We can take this right back to Jeremiah, these dregs. This is the cup that Jeremiah went around, and who do you give drink to? Everybody. All the nations of the earth got a little drink of it, and it's this cup of wrath. It's that cup of wrath that God has to offer out. In other words, nobody's immune. Nobody is going to get out of it. God says, y'all going to get a little taste of this. And it's this cup of foaming wine. It's full of mixtures. It's full of minglings. It's full of the wrath of God. And he pours it out. He pours it out because, and to see if you're going to drink it. God said everybody's going to get a little taste of it, and I believe everybody's got a little taste of the judgment of God before. So, we finally either have to accept one thing or another, or either going to turn and straighten up, get right, and that's what straighten up, upright. See how that relation there? Or we're going to just continue to be outside God's understanding, to keep coming up short, keep falling down, crawling around on the ground because you would rather crawl than stand up. See, it's kind of like a little baby. Sooner or later, you're going to have to learn to pull yourself up. And if you got to crawl along the furniture till you can get your bearing, that's where you got to be. But it's kind of the way we are before God. And God ain't wanting to destroy anybody. 10. But as for me, I will declare forever. I will sing praises to God of Jacob. As for me, that's me and my house. We will declare forever and sing the praises of God. Sing the praises of the mightiness of God. Sing the praises of the mightiness of the God of Jacob. Jacob is the supplanter. That's literally what it means. And this, there's a position. It's a position. We find out that we wrestle with understandings of God. This knowledge of God, this wisdom that God gives you. It was a very simple thing. It's the Torah. It's the law. It's the instructions. But I believe if you go by what men say, you think, well, this is a hard thing. This is not something that I can do. The law is not something anybody can keep. But we'll find out. I wouldn't put too much faith in what them men say, because God said do it. And that means you can. That means you can. God said you can. Don't start with the negative attitude. We start with the positive attitude. We go saying we can. We can. And, sometimes we got to try again. Try again. And that's just the way it is in life. Sometimes, we want to try to hit the bullseye. But first we need to hit the target. Laughing. All the horns of the wicked also will I cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be lifted up. And all these horns, something that is strength. Something the bull has, the ram has, the he-goat has, these horns that, man, they kind of push around. They can push around, these horns of the wicked, pushing around the others of the flock, so to speak, trying to gain control. And we can look at it like this. And these horns are like warnings. These horns are often hewed off and made shofars up to blow the warning. But I'll cut these off, God says. But the horns of the righteous, they shall be lifted up. But these horns, these strengths of the righteous, those that have just, that's what it is, the tzedak. These are the just, these are the righteous ones. God, we've been talking about these forever. These ones that accept the Torah, they accept God's understanding. They love God. These are the ones. These are the righteous. Their horns shall be lifted up. You'll know their strength. It's not a hard thing. It's not something you can't do. It's a free will thing. You got to want it. It lies within, and you just simply have to take the first step. We're going to move forward with that step to Psalms 76. Turn and return.